Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Thank you, Michael Dean. Welcome to DBL. It's Tuesday, March 9th. I'm Tori here with Al and Lindsay. How are you guys?
What's
doing
up,
okay?
guys?
Really good.
All right, let's get started. Well, the royal family is in crisis mode after Meghan and Harry's tell-all interview with Oprah aired last night in Britain, and more than 11 million people tuned in to watch. The pressure is mounting on Buckingham Palace to respond to the allegations of racism and really neglect. The family held crisis talks all day yesterday, but the Queen reportedly refused to approve the response. Meantime, Prince Charles was seen out yesterday making his very first public appearance since the interview. One reporter asked him about it, and it's kind of awkward. Take a look.
Sir, can I ask, what did you think of the interview? Hi, sir.
Thank you very much.
Kate Middleton also made a public appearance via a video conference celebrating International Women's Day. According to royal experts, she's devastated by the interview, but you would never know by looking at her. That stiff upper lip, always there. So the question is, what can and should the palace say in response to these allegations? What should they say and what will they say are two very different things. What do you think, Al?
I was going to ask you guys, do you think that they need to respond? Because I think they do.
Oh, they have to respond.
I think they have to respond, but you have to remember, it's like kind of like when you get in an argument with somebody in front of like the principal. There are things that you can't say in front of the company. So I wonder what they can say, because they have to, air quotes, clap back, but they can't. They have to kind of still be regal and royal. So I think they're kind of boxed in like that.
I know, but these people have a history of sweeping things under the rug.
So much.
And I know this is like the biggest scandal we've seen for the palace in years, but also, like, you know, there's accusations of so many things that passed around. I mean, Princess Diana passed away, and people accused them of many things in that situation, and it was kind of like, let's celebrate the Jubilee, you know, like whatever. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but I don't think that they're gonna put out like some expose, detailed version of their side of the story. Definitely not.
You make a good point. When Diana passed, it was Tony Blair, the prime minister at the time, that literally had to go to the Queen and say, we have to see you. The people need to have you go to the front and mourn with all those flowers. Like, they had to kind of get them out there.
But there was no internet back then.
Right.
Like, the internet's not gonna let this die.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're gonna have sheer numbers in terms of like, the people are still talking about this 2, 4, 6 weeks later. So until you address this, this is going to hang in the air. This is 1980, where the next day there's a new newspaper out and everybody's on to something else.
I just think it's interesting Diana was thoughtful enough to make aside money for her kids. Like he said, Harry, we now know it's about $10 million, the inheritance that he got from Diana, and that's what they were living on. And it's interesting, she knew, I can get cut off, he can get cut off.
It's almost like, here, I'm giving you this choice to live your life how you want.
Yeah.
Like, that's like her last message before she passed away.
Let's call that shoebox money.
Shoebox. I wish I had $10 million in a shoebox. All right. The British press continues to be all over the coverage of Meghan and Harry's interview. They are not holding back, people. Take a look at some of the headlines. Ready? So sad it's come to this. What have they done? And Meghan and Prince Harry's tirade was cruel and shifty, so much for their compassion. Meantime, we go back to this guy, Piers Morgan. He stormed off the set of his British morning talk show after being called out by a co-host. Take a look at this.
I understand that you don't like Meghan Markle. You've made it so clear a number of times on this programme. And I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle, or had one, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to, but yet you continue to trash her.
OK, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, mate, but not my own show.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do
This is
this.
absolutely diabolical behaviour.
Sorry. You know what? That's like a coworker or anybody, a colleague, whoever, just like, I'm fed up with your nonsense. Like, you know what you're doing. Stop the games, and I'm calling you out.
And so
like,
he knew.
On a human level, forget the TV show for a minute. I'm sure he went along with it. Piers Morgan was bringing in ratings. It's like, yo, forget the TV show for a second. Stop playing.
Wow.
Because, you know, you're ruining this woman's life saying that she's suicidal and lying about it.
Right.
And you need to correct yourself, which he came back and did.
He also said that someone accused his child, when he was having a baby, that reporter, of what skin tone. Would it be cocoa? Would it be not? And so he related very strongly to this message. What do you think about Piers walking off?
I was looking at it, and it's like, we have in our society our version of Piers Morgan, which are, you know what, stirrers. You know, Wendy Williams, Howard Stern.
Yeah, the shock jock.
Shock jock, kind of like, they ask a provocative thing. And Lindsay, you're saying, you know, forget that we're on TV for a second. It's Piers Morgan's job in that moment to remember that this is what he does. He should have been like, let's sit here and have this moment. This is why I stir everything up, because I want to have conflict on TV, because conflict brings eyeballs. But as soon as the conflict came, as soon as the eyeballs came, he left, and I don't think he realized it was such a long walk. Because he should have said at the end, if he thought he was going to do that. He
kept going and going.
I'm gonna stop here.
I'm gonna stop for a rest stop. By the way, that's called dishing it and not taking it. That's what that is.
But your job, you make millions to dish it. Take it and make more millions.
The most aggressive sometimes are the most sensitive. Can you imagine me walking off the set?
And the basis of this is the fact that Meghan doesn't speak to you anymore. So I'm a grown man who's not gonna get over this issue.
Yeah, it's not like he came at his wife or his kids or like was doxing somebody like, well, Lindsay, I know your boyfriend works at blah, blah, blah. Would he like that's one thing. This is just like, we're talking about the most popular story in the world right now, and you can't handle that?
Yeah, it looked bad when the British press ran away. That wasn't a good look, right? Coming up on DBL, UFOs, Area 51, the Roswell incident. Is there a massive alien cover-up? Oh my gosh. 2 experts weigh in the Jeff files. And a pastor's sexist sermon. Oh yeah, we saw this. Did a preacher go too far when he told women to look, quote, less butch? We're talking about it next.
Closed captioning provided by.
I love you all.
We love you, Lauren.
Drive-thrus have been booming during the pandemic, and restaurants are betting that will continue. Now they're using technology to predict what you'll order. Let's connect the dots. When the pandemic hit and restaurants faced restrictions, more places started upping their drive-thru game. That means Starbucks has workers walking car lines taking orders. Chipotle created Chipotlanes, where customers can grab pre-ordered food, and even Applebee's is testing its first drive-thru. Several big names are trying to improve the drive-thru experience with technology. For many, that means encouraging customers to order through apps to speed up the process and improve accuracy. Often restaurants have loyalty programs through their apps that reward customers with points for free food. Fast food giants like McDonald's and Burger King are turning to artificial intelligence to predict what you will order. That means everything from suggesting iced coffee on a hot day to using Bluetooth technology to ID loyalty program members and ask if you want the same thing you ordered the last time. It's all an improvement over screaming into a static-filled speaker in the drive-thru lane. Connecting the dots, I'm Amy Lutz.
Welcome back to DBL. I don't know if you've seen this. A Missouri pastor has taken a leave of absence and is now seeking professional counseling after his sermon went viral and was called out for being sexist. This is Pastor Stuart Allen Clark, and he told women in his congregation that they
3 names like a serial killer.
Oh gosh, he told, it's gonna be hard to read this, told women in his congregation that they need to look attractive for their husbands or else they'd stray because, quote, God made men to be drawn to beautiful women. But the 22-minute sermon didn't stop there. Here's a little bit more of what he said.
Your man needs an attractive wife. Now look, I'm not saying every woman can be the epic trophy wife of all time, like Melania Trump. I'm not saying that at all. Now, most women can't be trophy wives, but you know, like her, maybe you're a participation trophy. I don't know, but all I can say is not everybody looks like that. Amen. Not everybody looks like that. But you don't need to look like a butch either.
A butch? Okay, the pastor's church, General Baptist Ministries, posted a statement on Facebook saying that this sermon included comments that are not consistent with the positions and values of General Baptist. It also said they believe that every woman was created in the image of God and they should be valued for that reason. Whoa, Nelly.
Can I just say, he is not one to talk. He's not exactly George Clooney himself.
Ooh.
So I'm confused about how he's up there chatting about what you should and shouldn't be looking like.
Good to see you again.
Like, what?
It just showed, look, everything that was in there was directed towards women. You need to look better. Don't make your man cheat. He's looking because you're slacking. And the idea that, like, this is the ultimate goal for you as two successful women is to also, like, look good on your husband's arm. Like, shouldn't we talk about what you're doing in the eyes of God and how to better the community and just be a better unit? He never seemed to get to that. And I watched this whole thing this weekend before we did this story because it was hilarious. And it's 21 minutes, Lindsay.
It's very long.
Not a 3-minute thing.
And it's like whenever guys or someone will come up to me and be like, why are women so sensitive about blank? Why is it always a higher standard for women, right? It's because this was our basis for a long time. This was our reality, and we had to evolve by fingernails and clawing out and breaking glass ceilings because that's what was thought of us. And we're laughing now. It's not so funny when we couldn't vote, when we couldn't have a bank account from 1975. So it's funny, and then it's like you realize the basis of this has roots that are not that long ago.
And I think overall it's hilarious because he's ridiculous. But
yeah,
also,
and he put up a picture
I think the idea of showing up as your best self and both parties coming to the table trying to be healthy, trying to be strong-minded for each other, protect each other is a great idea. But don't just tell the ladies to do that while the guys are looking like you.
Also,
you know, like, I don't.
And so this is a joke he said, beautiful women from the South are called Southern Belles. Does that mean beautiful women from Mexico are called Taco Bells?
No. Wow.
That should be on the inside of a Snapple cap. That is such a terrible joke. Oh,
coming up on DBL. Terrible.
Not even to me, and I laugh at everything.
Yeah, you laugh at everything. UFOs and the mysteries of intelligent life in outer space. Is the government covering up their existence? Do not miss the Jeff Files. It's coming up next. I can't wait.
Nearly 100.
March 2020 was mad, all right. Many sports leagues cutting their season short or canceling altogether due to the coronavirus pandemic. But one of the first major hits to the sports world came when the NCAA called off March Madness for the first time ever. The NCAA had hoped to go forward with the tournament with increased COVID measures like no fans, but was forced to cancel just days before the official tip-off. Fast forward to 2021, March Madness is set to get underway, but this year, the big dance is going to look like no other. The biggest change? All games to be played in Indiana, with most of the 67 matchups taking place in Indianapolis. Normally, the tournament sends teams to venues all across the country. When it comes to safety, all players and staff will be under strict COVID-19 guidelines. This means testing negative before arriving in Indiana, wearing contact tracing devices, social distancing, and wearing masks. As for fans, a limited number will be allowed to attend games, but only at 25% capacity. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. UFO and alien conspiracies have been around forever. So whether you're a believer or skeptic, we are one step closer to finding out the truth. The Pentagon has months to release everything they know. We spoke to some experts about it, but first, here's our look at the most notable UFO sightings and research to date on this Jeff Files UFO report.
You've heard the theories and seen the videos. What's on the ASA? My gosh.
Sightings of UFOs or unidentified flying objects date back decades.
I am here to discuss the so-called flying saucers.
Let's start with this first credible one. It was 1947, and this pilot, Kenneth Arnold, claimed he saw a formation of flying saucers in Washington. He sent this sketch and letter to the military and FBI. Although they denied it, they became bombarded with requests.
Since 1947, we have received and analyzed between 1,000 and 2,000 reports that have come to us from all kinds of sources.
And just a month after was the notorious Roswell incident in New Mexico. A rancher found mysterious wreckage on his land, and he was certain he saw a UFO and aliens.
There have been a certain percentage of this volume of reports that have been made by credible observers of relatively incredible things.
The military initially said it was a flying disc, but then took back their statement and said it was actually a weather balloon. But not everyone agreed.
With all due respect to the Air Force, I believe that some of them will prove to be of interplanetary origin.
In the 50s and 60s, there were tons of UFO sightings reported around Area 51 in Nevada.
We can say that the recent sightings are in no way connected with any secret development by any department of the United States.
But the government was lying. Area 51 was actually a secret military site all along, and the CIA finally admitted that in 2013. And then there was Project Blue Book. In 1948, the U.S. Air Force secretly began investigating thousands of UFO reports. But they ended that in 1969, saying they couldn't find any evidence of UFOs or threats to our national security. And finally, one of the most notable moments came in 2017 when a private company, To the Stars Academy of Arts and Sciences, released this. You see fast-moving objects captured by advanced infrared sensors. And you hear two Navy pilots stunned at how fast the objects are moving. One former top Pentagon official even publicly came out and said this.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
But it wasn't until April 2020 that the Pentagon officially released these videos and confirmed that they were real. But it's still unclear. Are they drones or UFOs? In December 2020, former President Donald Trump took it a step further when he signed a bill into law that demands U.S. intelligence to release all their UFO data and reports in 180 days.
I won't talk to you about what I know about it, but it's very interesting. But Roswell's a very interesting place with a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
So, what is going on? Are these sightings just a coincidence?
Have any targets up here? We just had something go right over the top of us.
Or are we actually closer to figuring out the truth?
It's almost as if these extraterrestrials are giving us a little bit here, a little bit there, and they're leading us somewhere, which we're ultimately going to find out very soon where this is going.
Ooh, earlier, Jeff spoke to the Roswell investigators to see what they think about the Pentagon's upcoming report. Check it out.
We're joined by Tom Carey and Don Schmidt. Guys, I'm so excited about this. Your research on UFO activity has been the theme of documentaries and books for decades. Thank you guys so much for coming on DBL. All right, guys, let's dive right in because we have a lot to cover. Now, there's a lot of theories out there on aliens and UFOs, but the Pentagon just admitted they've been holding and testing wreckage from UFO crashes. Now, do you think any of our technological advancements of the 20th century have to do with this very same testing?
As far as we're concerned, there are several things, such as the amalgam called nitinol, which is derived from the Roswell crash.
To me, it often smacks of the level of human arrogance that still persists throughout the world. The idea that we would have anything of a higher level drop into our hands, no matter what the situation, and we'd be able to plug it right in and make it work, that type of thing.
Now, a new bill signed into law is requiring U.S. intelligence agencies to release everything they know, and they only have a few months left. So what else do you think they will share with us?
as little as they can. There will be an unclassified version of their report and also a classified version, which we will not see. And that's the one we would be interested in.
Yeah, I don't understand why they wouldn't release that information. I just watched a documentary about how presidents throughout history wanted to get this information out.
What politician is going to go before the American people and make such a pronouncement and still get reelected?
The government is holding 9 alien spacecraft.
I'm fascinated with Bob Lazar. I'm sure you guys are very familiar with him. And his coming forward in 1989 about all of his discoveries, Area 51, Element 115, which we just found out now is a legit element. A lot of his findings are coming to fruition right now.
What's interesting about Lazar, that if he is truly a whistleblower, we see in recent years what happens, like Edward Snowden, what happens when you actually do disclose sensitive information. But this may be part of that slow, incremental trickling of information.
So have you guys seen this Tic Tac video? I believe there's some footage out there that shows this video that looks just like a Tic Tac, but that defies the laws of gravity. Could you guys explain what this video is?
It has been declared valid by the Defense Department, albeit belatedly, but it is something I believe that has gotten everybody thinking seriously about this subject.
Regardless of what people believe, should they start caring about this because of all the information we have?
I'm a firm believer in the motto, the truth shall set you free.
As I often like to tell people, that if we're wrong about this entire situation, it doesn't change anything. Everything remains status quo. But if we're right, it changes everything.
I love that. That's a perfect place to end there. Tom Carey and Don Schmitt, thank you so much for coming on DBL. I could talk to you guys all day. To learn more about their research and their award-winning books, visit RoswellInvestigator.com. We'll be right back, everybody. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Woo.
Verify exists to fact check the things you read and see online. And we've seen a lot of posts like these popping up. People asking if they're lucky enough to get the COVID-19 vaccine, will it cause them to test positive on a COVID-19 test? What about an antibody test? Let's verify. Here are sources. An epidemiology expert, Dr. Michael Minna from Harvard University. An infectious diseases expert, Dr. Siham Majoub from Howard University. And the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Dr. Majoub says that the vaccine triggers your body to create an immune response and develop antibodies. However,
it does not mean that the vaccine is going to give you the actual virus in your nose, because the vaccine does not contain the actual virus.
Just like the CDC, our other expert also says that this is false.
And there's really no reason for the protein mRNA to make its way up into the nose where we're sampling.
So this is verified as false. The vaccines will not make you test positive for a viral test. But Dr. Majoub says that she has seen this situation. People unknowingly sick testing positive after getting vaccinated. But that's not caused by the vaccine itself. That just means they had COVID-19 before they got the jab. Okay, what about the antibody test? Could the vaccine cause you to test positive for that? The CDC says that the answer is yes, it's possible. Minna explains that it depends on what specific protein the antibody test you get is looking for.
Antibody tests very well will turn positive after somebody gets a vaccine if they're looking for antibodies against the spike protein or any of the other subunits and proteins that are in the vaccine. But they will not turn positive if it's an antibody looking for nucleocapsid, which a lot of them are.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
DBL is all new every day.
Don't look at me like with that face, because I'm telling you how I feel.
I'm not buying his story. No, I'm just being honest. He's trying to get clout.
I'm gonna wear a 10-gallon hat.
Stick with us in 2021. We're gonna have a great year. Welcome back to DBL. Protecting your assets is so important. So if you're thinking about retiring soon, we have some. You're not. We have some financial tips to help you out. It's time for a security alert sponsored by LifeLock. First, whether you're approaching retirement now or in a few years, please take full advantage of your employer's matching funds for your 401k contributions. It's like free money, y'all. Second, keep an emergency fund of at least 6 to 12 months of expenses before you start retirement. Finally, don't stop budgeting. Know how much you can spend every month, pay off all your credit cards, and don't wait until retirement to take all your big, expensive vacations. When it comes to your money and retirement, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock protects you from identity theft and more. Just call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more.
We have a
series, yes.
Right.
We do want to get to you something. The Queen has actually just released a statement saying, quote, the whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years have been for Harry and Meghan. The issues raised, particularly that of race, are concerning. While some recollections may vary, they are taken very seriously and will be addressed by the family. Privately, Harry and Meghan and Archie will always be much loved family members. Tactful and saying nothing.
Rubbish.
Whatever. That's a great statement.
That is.
The recollections may vary.
Yep.
Whatever.
Good way of saying nothing. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.